Welcome to another off-season Sydney Kings update. Today we're bringing you back to Athens, where a slightly tired Jason Cadee is standing by. Jason, good morning. How are you going over there in Athens?
Good morning, mate. All is good. Just hanging out at the Newley residence, actually, and yeah, enjoying a bit of an off-season.
So tell us what's happened in the last week and a half or so since the season ended.
I was lucky enough to be able to go overseas, and a few of my mates came over to watch the last game, and so my girlfriend and them decided to go over to Santorini and Mykonos and visit the islands and go on, I guess, a little adventure, which was really cool to be able to see that and experience the Greek culture and Greek Easter too, which is very different to Australian.
So let's go back to the basketball side of things. We saw some great highlights coming out of Kimis over the last couple of months. Can you talk us through how you found basketball and how you kind of really adapted to the game and started putting up good numbers?
Yeah, it was good. Obviously, our team achieved their goal of staying in the league. So that was what they wanted to do. They weren't set out to win anything. They were set out to stay in the league. So that was their version of winning a championship. And I learned a lot. As I said last time, being over here and having Yules here really helped me through the weeks and learning stuff. And I guess it changed for me over my time here, as I started out with just a nobody. And I think after my first 2 or 3 weeks, I started to probably get a bit of a reputation, and it became harder because teams were getting after me and doing different things. So look, a lot, and I think it's something that I'll be able to carry on now for a good amount of time, having to come over here and had this experience.
Brad mentioned that the refereeing was something that took a bit of getting used to the first few times he was over in Europe. Did you find that that was also something you had to adapt to?
Yeah, massively. It's just differently how they control the game, how they don't really, there's no talking really in this. Sometimes they'll say little things and it's pretty to the point, and that's it. It's no back and forth conversations, and it's differently ref sometimes depending on where you play, and sometimes you're on the unlucky side of being the away team where you don't get as many calls as maybe you would at home. And look, they're pretty professional and they're pretty straightforward. So you know how they're going to ref the game from the start, and that's how they go with it. And it took a bit of getting used to, but I slowly adjusted. And some games I was on the better side of it, and some games you're not, as it works out.
How was the language barrier with your coaches and fellow teammates? Was it something that you were able to adapt to pretty quickly, or was there some embarrassing moments?
A few here and there, but a lot of them actually understand English really, really well. Some of them don't talk it as great. Like our coach understood a lot of what I was saying. He just couldn't sometimes get across what he was trying to say. But our assistant did a lot of the translating, so it was definitely weird. As I said, I think the first time you're a coach talking, but you watch your assistant listening to what he's going to translate. And a lot of the boys in my team, there was 5 other imports, some being obviously from Serbia and Sweden and stuff like that. They count, and they all spoke good English. So I didn't really have too much of a problem. Obviously, now and then there was a little bit where I would speak too quick, and as our Australians do, we cut stuff short, so people didn't understand me. But overall, it was pretty good, and the basketball language is the same wherever you go, so that makes life easier.
So last time we spoke, you didn't really have much of a Greek alphabet or vocabulary. Have you picked up a few words? Can you give us any of the words and the translations of what they mean?
I have picked up a few of the little ones, just the greetings and stuff like that. Kalimera is good morning. Kalispera is good afternoon. Yasis is hello. Efaristo is thank you. After that, you're reaching. That's about my go-to. There's a few here and there. There's a few bad ones that the boys told me, which I won't repeat.
I was going to say, I'm sure you've got another half a dozen up your sleeve on the swear word department. But how about your name? It was hard to find out what your stats were because your name on the box score is very different. Can you pronounce your name in Greek?
They just say Cadee, so I honestly don't know. But all my mates now call me Canty because that's how it was spelled on my singlet. So I don't really know where it comes from because they all pronounced it as Cadee. So I'm not really sure, but I know that now to my friend have the nickname Canty.
Yes, well, Jason was spelt rather interestingly in the Greek alphabet as well. Let's go through a few quick hitters. It was your first time in Europe. Would you be interested in going back to Europe in general and Greece in particular?
Yeah, 100%. I've really enjoyed the experience of playing overseas, and it's just different. You're playing against different people each week. It's a different style of game, and I've just thoroughly enjoyed my time, not only in Greece but just playing in the European style of basketball. And yeah, look, definitely an option, something I'd like to do again, and we'll see what happens.
Now, Sydney Kings fans, most importantly, are going to be asking, what has your time in Greece meant for the upcoming NBL season? So, how do you think what you've been doing the last couple of months fares with your normal off-season routine?
Obviously a bit different. I mean, I've played in New Zealand and stuff before, but this is a different kettle of fish. Being able to come over here, play as an import, there's expectation on you to really perform. And in their system, they don't ask. It's not asked you to go outside and do your own thing. It's about being able to adapt to the way they play and do what the coach wants. And I think it's definitely been a good thing for me to be able to come over here and evolve my game in a different system and experience different styles of basketball and the way it's played. And I think going back home, it can only help me going forward and as I grow up and mature.